And anyone tuning in just now, just bear in mind, this is a best of 5.
Yep.
This is the winners' finals. The winner of this game will go on to the grand finals. And that is something I'm incredibly excited to watch.
But first, this is gonna matter as well, because these players also have secured their top 3 already, and we're gonna head straight into game number 1. We have the Furret into the Abomasnow. Jay, I'm not gonna lie with you, I have no idea how this goes, so we're here together to learn.
Here we're going to go. We're going to see the Abomasnow, a Pokemon from Hikhami's side. We haven't seen very much, but we did see in the previous game. We're going to go throw the Weather Ball into the Furret.
And here we go, the Weather Ball. Abomasnow can also have Ice Wind, but it paces a little bit slower. It looks like Hikhami chooses for pace on this Abomasnow. Now going for the first Swift here, Keldeo. This is going to deal neutral damage, but this is what makes Abomasnow quite good in the matchups where no shields are used. You pace just a little bit quicker. And now, oh, the catch on the Blastoise! That is an excellent play. This is actually a kind of favorable matchup for that Abomasnow because you have Energy Ball, but you just got that attack, and there's no way that Hikhami is going to stay in that matchup again. Let the Abomasnow get roll out down. Keep in mind as well that the Furret still has a Swift.
What a catch there to take all that energy from the Abomasnow. Keldeo is now quite happy to take this flying type attack. Drill Peck, it will deal just under half the remaining HP.
All the energy from this Blastoise is resisted, but if Hikhami doesn't want to take a Skull Bash, he may still put up a Protect Shield. He doesn't, and sniffs out that Hydro Cannon. It doesn't deal just enough damage to put this Empoleon at half, and now you still have relatively healthy Empoleon. Here's the danger though for Hikhami. This Furret already has energy, and this Empoleon is basically just an excellent ramp up for the Furret to go for a Trailblaze and make sure that the Sucker Punch damage will deal even more damage.
Keldeo now opting to come in with the Furret.
Oh,
and
the
through
catch
the
again!
Trailblaze, but it's been caught onto the double resisted Abomasnow.
The single resisted, but basically Hikhami says, what you can do, I can do. However, can you get to another Weather Ball here? Abomasnow is fast, and it's fast enough. It gets there on the charge. Not the charge 30 times, sorry, but he gets there at 1 HP. Abomasnow putting in work. Do you let Furret go? Yes, Keldeo lets Furret go. And in the back, now it's going to be 4 shields in place still. There's the Galarian Corsola. It's going to be met up with still a little bit of the Empoleon, but there's a full health Pink Gastrodon.
At this stage, it is Galarian Corsola versus the world. And by the world, I mean 2 remaining Pokemon.
It's a big roll. Yeah, as we see, both Pokemon are doing a lot of fast attack pressure here. Do you shield this charge attack? This is bait dependent. I like this play from Hikhami. He's just going for it. And Keldeo tries to call it, but it's a Water Pulse. He is not liking that. Now going for the first Nightshade. But I think that Hikhami now might be able to get a full fast attack down with both this Gastrodon and the Empoleon.
It was the kind of situation where Keldeo may have felt in his mind that I have to call the bait here. We only have 2 shields, and the time it takes for these fast moves to get to the charge attacks, he is going to get to a 3rd move.
It doesn't even matter, because at this point Hikhami is not even going to go for another charge attack anymore, because the Galarian Corsola is barely not even going to the Nightshade, and Hikhami takes the first game in this best of 5.
Goodness me, and because it's a best of 5, it gives ample time for both these trainers have done so well. To have gone this far without a single loss, they're really going to have to be locked in here to try and make it all the way through to the grand final. Here we go.
It's a water-type battle here. Blastoise into Empoleon. Empoleon has a slight advantage here, and the reason why is because you have access to the neutral charge attack Drill Peck, while the entire moveset of Blastoise is resisted against Empoleon, because the other charge attacks you could have, Ice Beam and Flash Cannon, they're also resisted.
Well, Blastoise is relatively tanky, so Keldeo may look to hold on to that move and then switch out like we've just seen he does into Furret.
I like this play from Keldeo a lot. In fact, he's kind of playing a sort of ABB line here. He's trying to bait out a potential Zweilous, but Hikhami didn't bring the Zweilous. He's bringing in the Abomasnow. I kind of like this play a lot, to bring the Abomasnow here, because Shadow Talonflame is fragile. You have to use shields there if you bring that in. While Abomasnow, it's not as bulky. The thing is, Furret will never throw Trailblaze into this, so it will never start boosting.
Absolutely not. We're going to see nothing but Swifts. But will this Abomasnow be able to shake it off?
I think it might be able to. I don't think the Swift knocks out. I don't think the Swift will knock out. It looks like Hikhami not taking any chance to lose switch advantage here because he's seen the Blastoise. He knows there's Talonflame in the back. He's not going to take any chance. The timer is up for Keldeo. Is he going to make a catch attempt again? Oh, there is that catch again on the Weather Ball. What a great play by Keldeo. It was a little bit late. He might still use protection. Yes, he thought it wasn't a catch.
Oh my goodness. The time in between left Keldeo wondering, oh, did they throw the grass type attack, and ends up shielding it. An accidental.
And maybe it was maybe it was intentional from Hikhami. In that case, very well done by him. I think the Hydro Cannon might barely not knock out here, but I'm not sure if the rollout after, if Empoleon can hang on there, because as you can see, it barely hangs on.
Oh,
but I don't think it gets the drill pack off. It doesn't get the drill pack off. And now, what do you bring in? You can't bring in Talonflame here, and Abomasnow only has so much energy. I think you have to bring in Talonflame here, but if you bring Talonflame in and you shield something, the Galarian Corsola also has a Rock-type Charge Attack. In comes the Blastoise, but Blastoise is going to be able to get the 2 Charge Attacks here. I think Blastoise is going to sweep up this game here.
Blastoise throwing on good move timing here. It looks like the Shadow Talonflame isn't looking very good at this stage.
It's not looking good against Blastoise, no. And now the Blastoise takes out the Shadow Talonflame. We might not even get to see the Galarian Corsola here, as the Blastoise still resists Power Snow. No, we do see the Abomasnow with energy, but looks like Hikhami doesn't even bother to see the third Pokemon here. And Keldeo ties up the score here to 1-1 with Blastoise.
Blastoise trucks on through with the Rock-type move rollout, just storming through the end of that game there.
It's such a pivotal Pokemon. It's honestly never the kind of Pokemon that just steals the show and just gets knockout after knockout. We're gonna find out now. Both trainers have locked in for game number 3. Keldeo on the left, Hikhami on the right. It's gonna be the third from Keldeo into the Empoleon from Hikhami. I would give the edge here to the Empoleon, but it's a very close match, and Third does have potential to win here because it can ramp up its attack with a Trailblaze.
Yeah, both these Pokemon get to their moves very quickly, but this Community Day move, Hydro Cannon, it does so much damage.
As we can see here, the Hydro Cannon already puts the turret so low now. Trailblaze is now coming through. Empoleon can hang on, and you can launch another Charge Attack here. Hikhami this time did bring the Zweilous, but we see in the back, we see Keldeo with the Florges. Switch advantage going to be super important here. I would not be surprised if Hikhami at some point switches out into Gastrodon to potentially bait out the Florges.
Keldeo opting to shield here, perhaps trying to look for that switch advantage, which he now gets, and now gets the choice of what he does with his remaining Pokemon to try and put the correct Pokemon onto that Gastrodon.
Bringing in the Florges here is going to be very iffy for Hikhami, because you do have the energy advantage, which is Keldeo going to be worried about. However, the Florges just paces so incredibly quick here.
And the Grass-type attack Trailblaze would do so much damage. I think it will knock out in one shot if it goes unshielded.
I think from this range, the Trailblaze will definitely knock out. At this point, Hikhami is thinking to himself, could I Metal Sound down this Florges at this range? I think my opponent is not healthy enough, so he puts out the protection. Even though if that means that this Florges will still outpace, you need to get this lower for the Zweilous. And the last Mudslap damage didn't register there, so you still get some Fairy Wind damage in.
And the Trailblaze lands and does take down the remainder of the Gastrodon.
Oh, he goes into the Empoleon to not take any damage. But the thing is, now you do not have the Switch Clock available anymore. So this Zweilous cannot use the Empoleon anymore to catch a Charge Attack going for the Body Slam right before the Skull Bash. And we're going to see just how bulky Zweilous is. How good can it take the Skull Bash?
Very smart from Keldeo to shield the first move, where after throwing the Skull Bash, the defense will be raised. So that move there would have been potentially, if it was the Dark-type move, the most damage that would have been dealt to.
Ow! That's a lot of damage from Blastoise there. Blastoise will be able to tank this Dark Pulse, but it's the same type attack, bonus attack. This is going to do a lot.
It's going to do a decent amount of damage. We've got to bear in mind it has been buffed in its defense, so he will tank that a little further. We're going to see the Water-type move, Hydro Cannon, able to be reached here by the Blastoise.
And I don't think that Empoleon has had enough health left. There's still also a little bit of Ferret. Empoleon can take this rollout here, but it won't be able to get rid of the Blastoise. And Blastoise takes game number 3 here to make it 2-1.
Well, you did have that correct. Blastoise did take game number 2, and it also took game number 3. It'll be very interesting to see who ends up taking this one away today. Well, but here we go in the winners final.
Oh man, that is a great lead for Keldeo. Keldeo here,
my
the Ferret
goodness.
into the Galarian Corsola. And this is going to look very tough. We see the Empoleon come in right away. Hikhami knows that's a relatively good save switch here. Going for the Hydro Cannon right away. This is actually really important damage because this Hydro Cannon will put it Ferret into Power Gem range, which might be important for Hikhami later.
We'll see how that goes later on in the game. But staying in here for now, the Ferret throwing the Trailblaze.
And we see in the backlines again the Florges and the Zweilous. This actually might be crucial for the backline here. We see Hikhami go for the Hydro. Actually would have expected the Drill Peck here because let's say that Keldeo would have wanted to catch on the Blastoise, he would have had neutral damage and the Drill Peck would have knocked out as well. But now,
Absolutely.
Now Keldeo gets to see the entire the rest of the line, I think.
Hikhami may have thought that because Ferret had already used Trailblaze, he wants to keep that buff going in towards the next encounter.
Yeah, and I think he also just didn't really have a great answer into the Empoleon, but now Keldeo's eyes must be lighting up. This is what you have the Florges for, going for the farm down. But I think that this Ferret can get to another charge. Like, oh, the Swift!
Goodness.
This is a really important moment in this game.
This Ferret is doing all of the work so far for Keldeo. Still hanging in there. These buffed moves being thrown off and end up taking a shield as well from Hikhami.
And now Florges comes in. It has a Fairy Wind. That means now if Hikhami swaps out, yes, like I said, Galarian Corsola wins against Blastoise, but you can go for a Chilling Water here to ensure that Blastoise actually doesn't hate that matchup. The other thing here to keep in mind, for Hikhami especially, is that the clock is now stalled by approximately 13 seconds, I would say. And it might be useful later if you want to swap back into Zweilous.
We're going to find out how the clock ends up being important later on in this game, but for now, Hikhami ends up throwing the Nightshade into Keldeo's Blastoise.
Yeah, but this is debuff though, and now Blastoise is farming up so much energy. Blasty has 2 Hydro Cannon here, and this Corsola is definitely in range of 2 Hydro Cannon.
Blastoise getting to those moves so very quickly with rollout, and oh my goodness, dealing over half the damage to this very tanky Pokemon.
I think that may have been a great moment to shield though, because this does more damage than anything the Florges can throw. The timer's now up for Hikhami. He swaps out to get a little bit of momentum. He gets a catch here, but I don't know how much that is going to help you, because shielding this means that the Florges can now get a farm down likely with the double super effective Fairy Wind.
Florges now coming in and whipping away into this Zweilous, who decides to throw the neutral type move.
Yes, that's going to deal decent damage to the Florges, but it will be able to hang on. In fact, Dragon Breath's not even gonna threaten just a little bit. Keldeo has the charge attacks for this Galarian Corsola because he didn't shield the Hydro Cannon.
Looking straight into the camera, he knows at this point that this is written on the wall. Hikhami is putting down the headset and he knows that Keldeo is going to be making it as from the winner's side to the grand finals.
The mental strength from Keldeo here. Hikhami took game 1, but that didn't do anything to Keldeo. He just kept bringing the Blastoise, and Blastoise was so strong in that matchup.